They've done it again. The NFL just made life harder for the Las Vegas Raiders, and fans are furious. Here's the deal. The official 2025 NFL schedule is out, and hidden in the fine print is something called net rest edge. Sounds boring, right? But don't tune out. This tiny stat reveals something huge. Net rest edge is the total number of extra rest days a team has compared to its opponents over the season. And guess what? The Raiders have the worst rest edge in the entire NFL. Let that sink in. While other teams get a full week of recovery, the Raiders are being thrown into game after game with less time to rest, recover, and prepare. For example, if the Chiefs get 7 full days off before playing us, and we're coming off a Monday night football game, that's an 8-day rest advantage for Kansas City, and a nightmare for us. This isn't just a one-off, it's a pattern. The Raiders are sitting at -19 in net rest days. That's dead last. And even worse, we're the only team in the league with just one game all season where we have a rest advantage. One. And now, before we dive deeper into how this could affect the Raiders' entire season, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss breaking news about the Silver and Black. Let's get back to it. The NFL gave us 6 games with a rest disadvantage. That means 6 times we're forced to battle while the opponent gets to come in fresh. This isn't just unfair, it's strategic punishment. And Raider Nation knows it. We've seen the bias before. We've felt it. But this year, with the schedule laid out in black and white, there's no denying it. The numbers don't lie. Now let's take a closer look at the numbers. The concept of net rest days may sound new, and it is. Analyst Warren Sharp, one of the most respected minds in football analytics, recently started tracking it because of how much it affects teams' performances. And what the data shows this year is alarming. While some franchises, often playoff favorites, enjoy the luxury of extra recovery time, the Las Vegas Raiders are left grinding on short weeks, again and again. It's hard not to notice a pattern here. The NFL knows that rest equals preparation. Teams with more time off can heal, watch film, tweak game plans, and bring fresh legs into Sunday. But the Raiders? We're being sent into battle short-handed, not because of injuries, but because of the schedule. And ask yourself this. When the league hands top-tier teams more rest and throws the Raiders the short end of the stick, is that just a coincidence? Because to Raider Nation, it doesn't feel that way. It feels intentional. It feels personal. And if the league keeps stacking the odds like this, then the Raiders aren't just playing against other teams. They're playing against the system. Now, let's get into why this really matters. The NFL loves to hand out primetime games, and with them, extra rest. Teams like the Kansas City Chiefs are sitting at the top with positive rest advantages. Not surprising, right? But then, look at the Las Vegas Raiders. It's not just bad. It's historically bad. While teams like the Saints come in at -14 net rest days, the Raiders are sitting all the way down at -19. That's not just last place. That's a canyon-sized gap. There isn't a team at -8, not one at -7. The league left a wide-open space between the Raiders and the rest of the NFL, like we're not even on the same playing field. Some of you old-school fans are probably shaking your heads right now like, this has been happening since the Al Davis days. And you're right, it's not just about bad luck, it's about a pattern. The NFL is still stacking the deck against the Silver and Black. But before we get into the rest of the schedule, pause right here. If you're tired of the NFL treating the Raiders like second-class citizens, subscribe to the channel right now. Tap that bell icon so you never miss the truth about what's really going on. Because here, we speak facts, not favorites. All right, let's move on to the numbers. The Raiders' first 4 matchups? We're starting the season in the hole. Week 1 versus Chargers. Las Vegas has 2 fewer rest days. Week 2 versus Commanders. 4 fewer rest days. Weeks 3 and 4 against the Bears and Patriots? At least it's even. But then weeks 5 through 7? Still no edge, no advantage, just grinding through the season week after week, on level terms, or worse. And when the bye week finally comes in week 8, don't expect a miracle. According to Sharp's research, bye week placement barely helps if your schedule is already a mess. The truth is this: the Raiders aren't just fighting opponents. They're fighting a calendar designed to wear them down. Now here's where things really get unfair. From Week 9 to Week 13, the Raiders face a brutal stretch of net rest disadvantages. Both matchups against the Chargers, we're playing from behind, again. Against the Browns, somehow, it's another -3 rest day gap. And here's the twist. The Cowboys game, which should have been a break for us, actually hurts. Why? Because while the Raiders get a long rest between Thursday night football and a Monday night game, the Cowboys get a bye week right in that window, so they end up with 3 extra days to prep for us. Unreal. And then there's the back end of the schedule, weeks 14 through 18. We only have 1 game with a rest advantage. And guess what? It's just a single day, on the road, against the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending NFC champs. Probably the toughest game on our entire schedule. Then it gets worse. We face the Broncos, Texans, Giants, and close the season against the Chiefs. And of course, the Chiefs get 3 extra rest days before that finale. So just to put this in perspective, here's the AFC West rest chart. Chargers, plus 5 Chiefs, plus 2 Broncos, minus 4 Raiders, minus 19. No other team is even in the same universe of unfairness as the Raiders. Now, I already know what some people are going to say. Well, it's because the Raiders have to travel more. They're on the West Coast. Let's be real. It's 2025. Every NFL team travels. That excuse doesn't hold up anymore. So why bring all of this up? Because when you look at who makes the playoffs, rest matters. In 2024, 8 out of 14 playoff teams had 0 or positive net rest days. Same thing in 2023, 8 out of 14. Sure, some teams have overcome it, like the 49ers and Chiefs in past years. But let's be honest, they're already stacked. The Raiders, we're trying to rebuild, retool, and prove ourselves, all while facing the worst rest schedule in the NFL. That's why this matters. That's why fans are frustrated. Let's give some credit where it's due, because while the Raiders' rest schedule is brutal, sitting at -19 days, the front office might have already seen this coming. No one's saying they had a crystal ball. But John Spytek and Pete Carroll have been thinking one step ahead all offseason. Here's why that matters. When you're dealing with a schedule that wears your team down, the most important thing, after talent, is health. And health, it's unpredictable. You can't control injuries, but you can prepare for them. That's where depth comes in. Not just bodies, we're talking quality depth. Last year, the Raiders didn't have it. Injuries hit, the starters went down, and the drop-off was obvious. This year, they approached things differently. Fans were hoping for big names, flashy signings, but instead, the Raiders focused on building depth across the roster. Smart draft picks, under-the-radar free agents, quiet moves that make a loud difference when players start going down in Week 10. And now that we know the full schedule, this strategy looks genius. Because when you're 19 days behind your opponents in rest, you need every small advantage you can find. That's how playoff teams separate from the pack, by stacking up the 1% edges. And that's what Max Crosby always talks about. Do the extra 1%. The Raiders, they're doing it, and it might just be the thing that saves their season. If you believe that too, or want to follow this journey week by week, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because the road ahead is tough, but it's not impossible.